Welcome back to Better Minecraft. And if this is your first time, welcome. Welcome all. We're starting our day off with none other than the end, which I think I can actually fly away from this island, even not using this portal. I didn't look at the map, but I'm pretty sure you can. Anyway, if you can't fly, that is, I guess you can block, but this is where we're going to start. And I will say, I'm going to show you guys kind of more of a summary of things that you might see. And the big thing is there's a lot of it. Even if you didn't have the map, this would be very hard to do if you didn't actually have wings. Like this example. I've been in this before. Can't remember what's in it, but I also didn't have a dragon at the time. But if you do not have wings, this is going to be really tough. Oh, sorry for my voice. I'm still sick right now, but I'm still trying to finish this video. Anyway, this is really tough to get around. So if you have plenty of blocks, maybe a bunch of end pearls, maybe. But of course, if you've been in the end, the gaps between the islands could be a little heavy. But there's so much to see, and it is, let's just say, memorable. There's not this huge, just flat areas of stuff. There's these trees, all these places, including this place. This is basically what you guys are here for. The cities. The big cities. But I kind of want you guys to see this first. This, if you've noticed, is my first dragon I brought here. This is the first dragon. And these little places like this has a ship in it. And this is actually where I got my first wings, is here. Not the island I just showed you guys. We'll get back to that, I promise. But you'll get them from like this. Yeah, my dragon didn't make it. I don't know why I keep losing just the ghost dragons for right now. I don't understand why. So I have to hatch another one, unfortunately. But we're back here. I've been in these before. And this big tower is basically what you want to go to. I'm not here for too many shulkers or anything like that. You can loot up pretty well, though. If you just search around in the end, you can loot up, like, diamond gear and stuff like that. You've seen it. So much loot. So much loot. And, of course, the totems as well. You see that little baby blue totem that I had on my hotbar. But this is the tall tower here. This is what I'm here for, is because you can get to the top. This is the level before you get to the top. Is this here? Of course, you have 4 spawners. And, of course, I'll take those out. If you can, which I keep forgetting when I'm in the midst of battle, fortune the spawners. Because I actually forgot to do it with I'm touching it with my silk touch one. And, of course, you can get more shards or fragments if you actually fortune it. And you can, of course, remake them with the souls, which we'll get back to that because that's been a big thing for this episode, is in search of creeper souls, more specifically. But this is the main room I was for because it has shulker boxes in it already on the pedestals. And the boxes, the chests actually have really good loot too. And I already have the wings, so that's not that big of a deal for me. I already went to the ship. I got that. But you can see all the kind of loot that you can get. That's kind of here and everywhere. Although you can find this stuff everywhere. And it's been not too bad. I'll get back to it. I really have to organize my storage again. I may have to just remake it, believe it or not, because I've got so much stuff right now and I need to simplify it, if you will. But that actually, wasn't one of the most interesting things I've seen. This guy, I think, was one of the most interesting things I've encountered in the end. I didn't attack it. I don't know its properties. But whoever this person is, mob is. And then also, there's suspicious sand. In the end, I didn't know that as well. Because I'm still in search of a necklace that I need for a overworld achievement. This obsidian temple here, which I gotta try finding another one. This one doesn't turn out very well for me. But I did forget about something when I was doing this. I'm sitting here fighting, and look who shows up. I forgot about this mechanic, because there's spawners for endermites in here. And that makes my life so much easier. Just please don't hit them. Don't look at them, because they will attack you, obviously. The endermen will. I mean, but they were just cleaning house. They were helping me out so much, and I focus on not hitting them, because I have the Inveil enchant, which means I don't actually have to worry about looking at them. It's been so nice, especially just walking around. And then for whatever reason, I still look straight down. Still look straight down. But there was one guy in there that I didn't even catch at first. The Shadow Walker. This guy just quietly came around to give me blindness. And I don't know if there's any more of those guys, but this is the guy that surprised me in this thing. So if you're in here, watch out for this guy as well. I unfortunately did well. I thought I did, you know, to break around the TNT, because these normally have TNT in them. That's why there's so much obsidian. And I still blew up all my loot. So, with that being said, I'm off to hunt for creeper souls. This legitimately has been the ridiculous amount of time. Like, the one thing that I've spent so much time doing is hunting creeper souls. It's been patience, I'll say that much. I've gotten so used to, like, it wasn't so bad because I've used to getting to know what my armor can take in this mod pack. It feels like it's different. I can take more damage in this. I think I have all protection 4 except for my boots. But something else I said I was going to do this episode was build. So I'm lazy with villagers right now, and I know a lush cave has a bunch of clay. So that's where I went. And as I found a lush cave, I remembered I saw some trees forever away, and that's where I came back to. Does anybody actually do that? Like, you remember? Like, when I started, this is a whole different new rant here. Oh, I switched to my Silk Touch shovel because I forgot that, of course, when you try to grind out materials, you want to Silk Touch it and then fortune it later. Anyway, does anybody else do that, to where you try to remember little landmarks, like without a map, but little landmarks? Like, I found the trees and I remember they were by something else. Because I remember when I learned on console, of course there was no map. You just had to remember where things were. Anyway, I get back and I fortune a stack with my, I think it's fortune 4 that I have. I think it gives me 4 stacks of balls, clay balls, from 1 full stack of blocks, if you're curious. I was also curious that I realized that you could throw bricks. So my idea was, can you break glass? No, you can't. You can't. And I get more distracted by this. I was out searching again. I think I was looking for spawner pieces, like fragments, spawners, for future spawner projects. More specifically, this one, creepers. And this, I didn't cut out pretty much any of this fight. I just want you to know that. I want you guys to see it, because this, by far, I want to say, is the most frustrating, but I wouldn't say hard. It was hard, though, because you got to keep moving, and your eyes have to keep paying attention to what this Sunbird is doing. These little guys are not that big of a deal. If you don't know who this Sunbird is, it's a boss. And the idea is, you want to obviously kill it, do damage to it, but the big mechanic is it can heal itself with these little guys here as one part. So you see the little white beams right there that come from the sky? Avoid those, and you can see it healing itself from these minions it summons out of itself. Then it has its blocking right now. You can hit it with projectiles once it actually is off this stage right here. Not that where it's sitting. I mean, off. See how it's all yellow? It does take damage. It does take a lot of damage too. So your regular weapons would work. Well, this is my power 5 bow, but basically what you can fight a dragon with, you can fight this guy with. That beam does quite a bit of damage. That's why I was putting the walls up, and the stupid pillagers show up, because there's a little right there straight in front of me over there on the right side. There's a prison, I think is what those things are. He shows up. The little minions aren't too bad to get rid of. Like, you don't see them really attacking me. All my damage is coming from the Sunbird. And these apples have come in clutch, but you have to keep moving. I would recommend, I guess, to wear, instead of wearing the mask, which I did, I shouldn't have, is to wear some kind of piece of armor, at least one that has fire protection. And if not, go with like full like protection 4 at least. And then strength potion and probably fire resist is probably my best bet. And it's because it's not the beam that's really bothersome. There is some armor though that actually has knockback resistance, because the big thing for me is knockback for this guy or girl. I'm honestly not sure what it is, but that beam, see the knockback? That damage is no joke. And it, no joke, has no chill. Look at that. And it will follow you for a good ways away once it starts tracking you. I think these guys help to track you, to be honest with you. I think that's one of the mechanics. But even, I'm completely out of sight, it still sees me the whole way. And I take so much damage. And I'm just trying to stay alive right at this point. That's all I'm trying to do. 2 hearts. You see that? 2 hearts. And of course you can see I almost got it all the way down. But don't be discouraged when you see that meter go back up, because it is a very constant battle, which I like. I really do like that. I like that as a mechanic. I kind of hope they have more of that in vanilla, which they definitely won't then, because I said that. But you can see when it's actually free to hit. That's just my regular bow that I would normally use, which I actually really don't carry my bow around as much, to be honest with you. I usually leave it in my inner chest. Anyway, fire again. Those beams are non-stop, but your focus should be to inflict the damage when you can, kind of stand behind stuff. You can avoid those white beams because you see it showing up, but avoid the white beams, but inflict the damage, but also keep getting rid of the minions here. As many as you can, as quickly as you can. But also try standing behind stuff, because that beam is not fun. See how it just comes out like that? Yeah, this was a tough one. It was tough. I'm not gonna say it was fun. I will say that I will definitely probably do it again, just for the sake of it was one of those fights that you don't expect to win, but you do. And I kind of wish they had that more of that, I guess that RPG feel. Because that's basically what it feels like. You're just in the midst of battle and you're playing your role. I think it's really cool though. So I guess this guy and the armor guy, I think would be cool to add to regular vanilla. They're never going to do that. Or even just more with the dungeons. One of those many things you could possibly do with that. But you can see I'm still trying. My water bucket's come in clutches a few times. It's honing in on me. I'm just focused on trying to get out of the way and still move. You don't really see me sitting too much, because this will not let you just stand there unless you're like completely undercover. So I guess you can make yourself a cover or a square box or something. And I know the damage I could take. You can see the damage I'm taking. I directly take it because I'm not trying to move as a whole. So understand your armor and your tool. You see I'm standing behind something because that beam. Yeah, I was fed up. I was fed up with this guy. I really was. But I finally did it. I just kept on hitting him with the bows, and that was it. So If you're wondering how to do it, maybe do it better than I did. But no deaths so far. And then the mask, not that one. This one here. Basically, if you right click as you're holding, I think you're supposed to, when you're wearing it, you're supposed to be able to summon your minions. But then I went back to something a little bit more calm, which was just some terraforming. I know I said I was going to do it, is clean up this land, and I'm going to, because there's so much potential. But you know how Minecraft works, unless it's, I guess, Bedrock. Bedrock looks a little different than this. Let me rephrase. Looks a lot different, but we're not going to get into that. But cleaning up the land, I'm going to smoothen it out as best I can. I wish I can keep the hills, a lot of the hills, but it's not going to work out well enough. And remember what I said? Creepers were my goal here. Creeper spawners is what I wanted to make. You can also make a wither skeleton spawner too as well. So that's one thing I'm going to look for. Yeah, that kangaroo didn't last very long with that skeleton. And that's okay. I have more. I can breed more. But that's kind of one of those things that happens more than once this video. Anyway, I actually started dealing with my first build for the villagers, which is the armor. Why? Because this is one of, I think, what is it, three villagers that trade iron. And what do I have a bunch of? Iron. I have blocks upon blocks of it, of iron. So that's what we're going to try trading for that. Normally I would go with farmers, but I'm going to try something different this time because it's convenient and I'm lazy. One thing I'm still doing, and this is one of those things, which I'm just, it's been frustrating to say the least. I cannot generate cold biomes at all. You see these small patches here and there, but not the full one. And we are slowly getting through all the overworld stuff, like bosses. But what is there? 2 or 3, I think. 2 or 3 that are in cold biomes. But I'm kind of doing that off camera just for the sake of it takes a while to load the land. That's one thing that's been more of a problem than anything is the land generation of new land. Like I just have to stop. When normally I'm on my dragon, I just wait, but it takes so long, or I'll just restart the game. That's probably my biggest pet peeve with this game, is probably that. Which it's not the worst, but it could be better. This build here, which is again is for the armor, which my goal is typically to do 2 of each, unless it's one I don't use, like the cleric, for example, which we'll get back to that. 2 villagers in this space. Don't need a bed, but my idea for this whole thing was to place the windows where I needed to place them. Can you guess why? Well, we'll get back to that. But these torches like this is not a vanilla torch, by the way. This is a different torch, and I don't remember what it's called. Surprise, surprise. But it's coming along. Again, I use so much spruce beams, inside and out. And my goal with most builds, in the way I build now, is not going to be cover everything in trapdoors. I'm just not going to do that. I could, sure, but I don't want to. It's just too easy. But it's coming along. It's coming along really, really nice. And this is the reason why I wanted the windows where they are. Look at the floor. Because the sun comes in from the east and sets in the west. And that's the direction the windows go. One on each side. So I'm just sitting here waiting after basically everything is done to see if they cross the stacked carpet. And they don't. I do a second one too, but as far as I know, they're not crossing them, which is great. My next problem would have been pillagers, but my next problem right now is actually hunting again. I do a lot. I'm sorry if this feels random, but this is basically how this video went. I went from like point A to point B, and it just keeps moving. This is exactly how I play the game. I know it feels random, but this is just how I play. You kind of pick and choose, pick and choose. I did pick up a zombie, but no creepers yet, which is unfortunate. So my idea was to go back to a lush cave. I am an idiot, by the way. I didn't even think to use, because I don't ever use potions for anything. A potion so I can see. Didn't even think about that, or even for the video for that matter. I basically did this for probably about an hour. Just fought in the dark. Thankfully, it was in this exposed cave, so I have little spots I can run to. But I did finally get one creeper after, I want to say it was like 28, 29 minutes. One creeper soul. I don't know how rare they are, but this is how I typically will do it. And once I get my fourth one, trust me, I'm ready to go. The fighting's not so bad. Obviously, the random skeletons are annoying. Bring plenty of food. But as a whole, it wasn't too bad. So I get back home, and I do one thing I really need to start on, which is a sugarcane farm. I still like a basic sugarcane farm. If I'm building around my base, this thing's going to be putting out anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. I don't want any, like, moving, those slime block things that cut it. I don't want that. I would like a bigger farm, but I'm just too lazy for that, and this definitely will do. And for whatever reason, it's still flying around. You haven't seen me do it yet, but still flying around feels weird without a dragon, if that makes sense. I end up taking them off more times than not, since I've been playing with them in my possession, that is. But this is the actual farm done. I like these little blocks here. I can't remember what they're, these stone pillars. They hold the water up, which is cool. Now, if you put a block against them, the water does raise, if you're curious, which it's random, but I noticed that earlier. Anyway, I want to say I'm going to fix this farm up a little differently to make the drop spot a little bit bigger. But right now, it feeds in the one hole. I made it simple, and it's over water for the sake of I just don't need to spawn-proof a bunch of other stuff as well. Having said that, with 5 spawners, there's going to be 5 in here. This is the 5th one. I still think that round one with no cats actually puts out more gunpowder than this does. So I may have to build one and test it in this world, but I think it does. This is simple though. It works. Like if I just stay here in AFK, it'll work. It'll be fine. And I do like this one because it can easily get some creeper souls as well from that, so we might be redoing that. I did not know you can put items on signs. I was just trying to write on it. But this works out. Because you can really see that. So, we're going to keep doing that. And after a while, I finally get to fly around. It doesn't feel right either. It's the weirdest thing. I've flown for years with wings, but having just running around and using a dragon, it still feels weird. Like it feels natural, but it feels weird, if that makes any sense. So I end up taking them off most of the time. But it's nice to be able to get around. And with how the land loads, it's nice to not use them. Anyway, I'm back to my next build, which is the cleric, which I basically just wanted to look like what it would normally look like with a little flair. Vanilla, with that one, it's all cobblestone, obviously. There's no I'm not using any cobblestone, but the tower with the ladder that goes up, and then just that connecting section with the windows. That's basically what I wanted it to resemble, but absolutely nothing like that in regards to the palette. Because obviously, I actually don't know if I have that much cobblestone, to be honest with you. I need more, but I just don't actually collect it. Which, that's why, because I need to add vein mining to it. That was it. Anyway, I wanted it to have kind of a like wizardy feel, but still look just like a vanilla one, if it made sense. And after I was happy enough with that, my crazy self decided I still wanted the Wither Soul as well. So I'm back to the fortress again. It's not that bad. Obviously, fire resist would be nice. It's not, well, you know why. If you don't know why, is because of the blaze. They have like the worst for you vision. Like they just target you so quick. They're so annoying. But in this mod pack, it's weird. If you use fire resist, which I do use, it looks like the fire charges they send at you like bounce off of you is what it looks like. It's random, but it's something I noticed that's in it. These dark areas I think are really cool, but you really have to keep your head on a swivel because you obviously see how dark these withers are, and they're quick. The map did help me figure out where they were at because this place is big. Normally these towers, like this big, what is this, a fortress? Yeah, fortress. Not the whole thing, but that little area I was in, like a fortress by itself. They spawn typically towards the top of the towers, not the sides. And this is when I was ready to leave. Things were going well. I got shot. This stupid mosquito attached to my face, which in hindsight I actually need something from the mosquito as well to summon a boss in the end. That's nor here nor there. I did at least pick up one skull. I'm gonna need a bunch more. That's why I need the wither spawner. But we'll get back to that at a different time. I fight so much, and then I decided and thought about it that I just need XP tomes, so I can save up the XP because I'm sure I'm gonna die very soon. My record's pretty good, but I'm sure I'm gonna die pretty soon. I just want to save that for later. Yes, we have a XP farm for right now, but you know, you don't want to sit there and do that. I'm back to terraforming though. This thing has been over here in the corner. It looks nice, but it's very out of place. You know when Minecraft loads those islands that are just floating? This is one of them. And I want it gone. I don't know if I'm going to actually build here or not, but at least I have the option now. This is interesting to me because, believe it or not, this is barely sped up. This is exactly how I terraform this quickly. So I didn't add as much because, you know, not everybody wants to see you just placing dirt. This right here I did because if you're curious on how to fill up a hole, something like this, it doesn't take very much to fill up this, like a hole that you put in the side of a mountain. Look, see how that was? And for whatever reason, I thought it was a good idea to go back to the Twilight Tower. Twilight. And they go to this Lynch Tower. Let me just say, be prepared for lag. And I think it's just because of the amount of mobs. It's not because it's poorly optimized. It's just there's so many mobs. Flying mobs, like the one I'm trying to look at right. I saw it. I didn't know what it was at first. Skelly's not so bad. Yeah, they are, but zombies not so bad. But it's the oddities, I think, make this mod pack great. It's a freaking book. And there's tons of them. All in this. So if you're curious on what mobs you'll encounter in this is one of them. Then skeletons and zombies will also be in this tower. But I cheesed it. After a while, because I couldn't really progress. See, you can see the lag. That's not me slowing down that's how slow the game's moving right now. Which is, I made it through. It's just one of those things you have to deal with. It's a little smooth now because I'm away from the chunks, but you can see the lag here. And this is the top room. If you're wondering where the lynch is, it's on the top room. The tallest tower, that is. And when you walk in that room, that spawner turns into that. I don't know how to fight this thing. I just want you to know that now. And it's... somebody said it was easy. I don't know how to fight this thing whatsoever. And also, I didn't know it teleports. Yep. I think I was reading, and it said that you want to deal with the minions first, and you're supposed to take down its shield, like keep hitting it, those shields until they go away, because there's like 2 or 3 phases that it has. But I didn't want to die here. I did not, especially having, you know, when you get to dying and you start going into those death cycles. I don't want that. So I'm trying to be very cautious in how I take this. But this is another boss I really wanted to fight, and I don't understand why. I don't know why, but I did. And this is what I ended up doing. I'm testing my fist, my sword, my pick. I use like everything to see if I can do damage here, because I mean, I'm touching his toes. It moves, and even if you move the block from underneath it, it still won't float down. Like, it's just hovering. So I was very unsure. So I had another idea after this failed attempt right here. You know, see, I have it cornered, and I'm still hitting. Still nothing. Not a damage, nothing broken. And I guess they all do that, or move. They all move. The night guy did move too. Like, if I was digging underneath him, he moved. This is where it became just unpredictable. I thought it had spawned back in its room here. It didn't, because I thought the kangaroo would help me with, more specifically, its minions to distract anyway. I did not bring all my kangaroos. I was smarter than that. But yeah, like that. It spawned outside in the trees, in the canopy. It's where it teleported. So I didn't know what to do. I wasn't going to go over there. For whatever reason, I barely noticed it. It's shooting projectiles at me. And that seemed to do the job. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do. Was shoot projectiles at it. Back at it, that is. I don't know if you can use your hand or your sword, but I'm just still hitting it. If I see the projectile, that's what I kind of shoot. That's what got me through this first stage, I believe. I'm trying to remember it because it was so random that I was shooting it just to bring it my direction. That was my goal, is to have it teleport back. And then I noticed those black balls it was shooting at me. Don't know what they are. And the fire, yeah. But it seemed to be doing damage to those shields it told me to get rid of. I don't remember how many phases it is. 2 or 3. This is phase 1. And then I'm trying to remember anyway, there's more than one phase. And you'll see that very soon. Once we get to damaging that last bit, which is right there. And it's still, now it's really exposed. It doesn't have its minions on it. It goes back to its room. Let's just say it does not turn out well. These zombies seem to be a little bit more powerful. They're even greener now that I'm looking at them. They don't look the same. Yeah, the kangaroo died. And I'm sitting here trying to just get rid of this thing. I love that, though. I just noticed it. When the mobs kind of go away, the FPS goes up, which is very cool. But I am fighting this fighting. And this is the point where I was like, you know what? Forget it. You can see my hearts right there. It is just rushing me. I said, let's just do this. And I was about to accept that L. And for a reason, my sword did the job. So have good armor, good weapons. These heads, by the way, these trophies, you're supposed to use, I know, at least one of them to open up a dungeon to another boss in the Twilight. This thing makes sounds all the time. Like when I'm walking by, I gotta remember this is on the floor. Anyway, welcome back. And I am basically done with what I'm gonna build right now for what I have. If you notice, there is no catfish in here. I have moved this catfish and my big catfish all the way over here. Excuse me, dragon. And this is where we've been moving and working. I have so much left to do, but this is one build here. You can see the windows I meant to put in. See? You can see the sun come in from this side. See it? And then it'll come back in on that side as well. These armor stands, I've been putting these helmets up, or these masks up. These, I've been collecting like twos of. Like if I see them somewhere, I just collect them. And that's what's been so easy to decorate with. And they're all different. Every one of them. Which is really, really nice. But they're not crossing this here. And then there's another set here. If you're wondering, if you've never seen this before. I can't remember how far you're supposed to go down. But you just stack them up. And they think they can't cross it. So that's why you see them just hovering around. And they don't cross over. The problem will be is if there's pillagers or something. I may have to block this off anyway. Or maybe in here. But as a whole, they seem to be working. You can see this armor set here. The rot helm. And then his giant axe. Which is amazing. Little things I find. That knife. The blue baby. For the end. This is going to be a new build. I'm not sure if I'm doing this next episode or not. But that one. This one here will probably be next episode. We have this house here. Which is the clerics here. I think it turned out well. It looks nice. This is the section I tried. That's a bird nest, by the way. How this is. And this one should still be in here somewhere. Yeah, right there. The cleric's still in here. Will I ever use this? Probably not, but the cleric is here. Of course, I did the stack here of wool so they can't get out of the house. So that's a nice thing. And then there's the pond. Here. One interesting thing before I get into it, before I forget. I was going to put pickles in here, but apparently the berry bushes don't like my feet. No, the catfish don't, they're drawn to the light, but they don't like the taste of pickles, is what it says. But I think these are 2 mediums. That's a small. And then this girthy boy is my large catfish. And you don't realize how much bigger he is than these other ones until you drop him out of a bucket. He is a big feller. But now he has room and friends to float around in. I think I'm going to build something right here. I am debating as well between this side and this side. I may split them up like farmers, that is. I may want to do like a, I guess, quote unquote, automated to where, you know, when you can't do it with wheat, you have to use, I think, tracks, but you place a villager hole and then the gap here, and then what the villager that's picking will try to give the items to this villager, and then it just falls into the hole. If that makes any sense, if you've ever seen that before. I think I might do that with the carrots and potatoes. If I really, well, I'm going to have enough villagers, so I might do that if I take the time. Anyway, this is a little pond here, and it's looking really nice. I'm just using things that I have in my inventory. I'm not going out of my way to do too much extra. I may put some of those, where are those things? Is there any right here? Those salmon berry bushes, the orange, yeah, orange and green ones that are actually here as well. But this is pretty much all I've been doing is I built this, which has turned out really nice. I built that, which has actually turned out really nice as well. And then I'm going to probably update my storage next episode. But it's coming along. It really, really is coming along. If you can see, I'm not wearing wings for whatever reason. It just doesn't feel right now. I've used them a few times, but they just don't feel right. Like I usually just jump on a dragon and keep moving. This thing has been putting out so much iron. Let me park you over here. This is where I've been parking them, is like right here up against this wall, like it's a garage or a little car park. Just right here out of the way. They're not going to cause any issues. Now, if I have any more pillagers, this should help. I've surrounded it with fence and berry bushes. And then, of course, there's the torch here for no other spawns as well. This thing has been putting out so much iron. And before we end this episode, I kind of want you to see what I have, which I may need some remodeling. I actually may remodel my house, by the way. That's nor here nor there. That will just show up if I do that. Let's see. Yeah, I got tons of iron for that, and I still need much more. I finally got cocoa beans because I wanted brown. My cactus, my single cactus is doing fine. I don't need a lot. I'm going to have to probably break this boat so they can start doing the baby thing again. I have wart now set up here right in front of this farm. So that's pretty much it. I hope that you enjoyed. And the next episode, I think, hopefully, which one is it? Overworld again. Which one am I hoping to get to? One of these. Maybe this one, but one of these. But I need to find a snow biome. Don't hold that to me because I really don't know. And this one will take a while. I'm still looking for this necklace as well. Oh, I forgot. There's so much left to do. But yes, I am. Thank you. If you made it to the end of this episode, I thank you so much for. It is hot outside. For hanging out. And I will definitely catch you in the next one.